He'll watch a movie, then he'll tell you all about it. It's the Armstrong Entertainment Show.
Hello everyone and welcome to Armstrong Entertainment. This is Chad here and I saw the documentary series The Staircase on Netflix. Now, I'm obsessed with true crime. Ever since Serial came out a few years ago, the podcast Serial, I've been going crazy for all of these true crime podcasts. There's Case File, Sword and Scale, My Favorite Murder, Up and Vanished, Stranglers. There's so many murder podcasts and I've become obsessed. So I knew all about this story before watching any of this documentary. I knew all about Kathleen Peterson and her falling down the stairs and her husband, Michael Peterson, being accused of the murder. And I'm not going to give away too much until the end because I really want to give stuff away. But I knew pretty much everything I thought I knew about this case. So going in, I realized that this has been going on for 16 years. This documentary first came out in 2004, I believe, with 8 episodes. And then they added 2 more episodes in 2013. They added a few more. And then this year they added 3 more because the case keeps changing and it's been 16 years. So it's basically a courtroom drama and a look at the U.S. justice system, more so than the actual murder. And also a reality show combined into one. That's what makes it so interesting. The first 8 parts that take place in 2004, they're not as cinematic as you would expect them to be, especially now with this true crime craze that's been happening ever since the Jinx and Making a Murderer and Evil Genius. It wasn't cinematic enough, and it felt like I was watching a reality show because they would show what was going on in court and then the family stuff at home. And let me just tell you, I have no idea why this family allowed this to be made. It made no sense. I have no idea why. I mean, I do know why they made this documentary to prove they used it as a vehicle to get him to get off with this murder and be innocent, show what he was really like. But this Michael Peterson guy is just so, in my opinion, is so unlikable to me. That's my cuckoo clock. So as I was saying, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but my preconceived notion on Michael Peterson was he was guilty and I didn't like him. So the first 8 episodes, I was really annoyed by the family. I didn't like the daughters. I thought they were just being totally blind to what happened, and they were just siding with their father. It just was very head-scratching because everything led to make you believe he killed her. How does somebody fall down stairs and die with all of these lacerations on her? I won't go into it because I want you to watch the show and learn all of these things for yourself. But I just went in with this preconceived notion of not liking him and thinking he was guilty. Then the follow-up to ones in 2013, much better, much more cinematic, much more watchable to me. They weren't as boring. There were some boring parts in the first 8 because it's a lot of courtroom stuff and behind the scenes, which was very interesting. Teaching him how to act in court. Just going through I loved the defense attorney. Oh God, I forget his name. Michael Rudolph? Something Rudolph. He was freaking amazing. I love this man so much. I just loved that he just seemed really good at his job, and I liked his passion. I just thought he was so cool. That scene where he's dealing with the guy with the slideshow right before court, the best scene of this whole series. I was laughing so hard, it was hilarious. You should watch it. Let me get back on track. This show is definitely binge-worthy. All I want to do is talk about it because I just spent the past 3 days binging this. It's 13 episodes, 45 minutes each, so that equals 10 hours? Wow, I just watched TV for 10 hours. It was worth every minute. If you are at all interested in true crime, you will definitely enjoy this. It's definitely binge-worthy, definitely worth checking out. If you liked any of the things I've already mentioned, you will definitely like this. How many times can I say definitely in a sentence? So now I'm going to give some spoilers, so if you don't want to hear anything about the case or about what happens in the documentary, just stop watching now. I'll give you 2 seconds. Okay, let's just go right into it. I think he's guilty, but the more I think about it, I went in thinking he was guilty, but the more I watched it and all the episodes, it made me have that doubt. I was like, oh shit, did he really do it? Or was it the owl that they never talk about? If you don't know about the owl theory, look it up online. It's very interesting, and I think My Favorite Murder really kind of went into it, this owl theory that it was the owl that caught her scratched her on the head, and then she fell down the stairs, and she had chunks of her hair in her hand because I guess she was trying to get the owl off, and there was microscopic feathers. But where did this owl? I'm not even going to go to the owl thing, which I already did. But there was something about that 911 call at the very beginning, and it just seemed so fake and badly acted. It seemed like he was putting on an act, and I just didn't believe a word he was saying. The body was already dried up with blood. It just, and then the whole Germany thing, like another woman, I know it's so, it's just so weird, ironic. It's just so weird that another woman died under mysterious circumstances the exact same way. Not that he is a staircase serial killer or anything, but it just seems so freaking weird, right? I just don't understand. Something is not right about this guy. If you had a gun to my head and said guilty or innocent, I would say guilty. However, I will say, during this documentary, it made me realize how crappy the justice system is. I mean, I already knew that, but just the fact that he got put away from false testimony, like somebody was perjurizing, that guy, I forget his name, he was perjurizing about like how many cases he had done and the blood splatter and everything. It's just crazy that he went to jail. Michael Peterson went to jail because of this guy's expertise and the tests he did. It's just so ridiculous. Those jurors should definitely have not found him guilty. They definitely reached a reasonable doubt. They should not have sent him away for 8 years. Ridiculous. But overall, that was a great series. I feel like there's so much to this story that we're just never going to know. Did you know that Michael Peterson was dating the editor of this documentary series as well, which I thought was very interesting because obviously the whole time you're watching this, you're like, okay, they're leaning towards his innocence. This whole documentary is to prove that he's innocent. It just seemed like, I don't feel like they were unbiased, especially if he was dating the editor of the documentary. I know they said that they didn't let it influence them, but of course it's going to influence them. That's such bullshit, and there's just so much going on in this case. I just feel that we're never going to know all of the answers. It's done now. He's innocent, or what did he plead? The ALF, whatever it's called, the thing. He pleaded guilty, or he said he was guilty or whatever, just so he wouldn't go back to jail. It's fine. It's done with. It's over and done with. It's just sad that we're never going to know what really happened.
He'll watch a movie, then he'll tell you all about it. It's the Armstrong Entertainment Show.